Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back, Delora. We are about to have our first In Conversation episode of the year. How you feeling?
Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, super excited. And you are right. Our very first in 2026. And I'm just can't wait for this conversation, Ashley.
Absolutely. We want to introduce our audience to a writer, director, filmmaker out of Chicago, Will Adams. Will, thank you so much for joining us on reCappin Podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you. That's a lot of pressure saying the first.
First of the year.
Some warm-ups or something like, now I don't want to disappoint anybody,
Not at all.
You'll do great.
Okay.
So the way that we generally set these up is our first question is just really out of the gate hearing about your journey. So please walk us and our listeners through the highlights of your career journey thus far.
Talking about from where I started?
Sure.
I was a cameraman at first, and that was way, way back when. Made my first movie in 2007, Kidnap, which was trash. I learned a lot from that. And then from that, I moved forward and applied everything that I didn't do in that first movie to everything moving forward. And here we are at Tubi Movie. Now, Tubi Movie is not something that's normal for me because I do have stuff it's not intentionally bad, because Tubi Movie is intentional with the faux pas that you see in it. I just want to make sure that it's understood that Tubi Movie is not something that I'm like, okay, well, gonna be a Tubi Movie 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. No, that's the one and done. And it's basically that one metamorphed because I was watching all these people post online about the bad movies and dubbing every bad movie that they post, which is clips, calling them Tubi movies. You never get a chance to understand and know the names of these movies, which Tubi Movie was the movie that everybody has been asking for, which they didn't know they were asking for. So I just gave them what they were asking for, what they had been promoting for the past 4 or 5 years.
Well, it's good to know it's one and done, because I was wondering if it's going to be like the Scary Movie franchise where you will give it legs into the future.
More satire.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't need legs. It did what it's. I mean, I'll just be doing the same thing over and over again. And at this point, it's a shocker to see it the first time around, but to see it in a different movie again, it's like, oh, he's still doing that.
Where do you find inspiration?
Well, I was telling you about Tubi Movie. I was inspired by people posting those bad clips online. And what ended up happening was, instead of me making a bad movie so I can get people to watch it, I made a self-aware comedy that that actually leans into the joke and have actors break character so they can have the audience laugh with us instead of at us. But my inspiration, wind blowing. I mean, this is crazy because I get an idea and it's stuck up here until I put it into the computer.
I was going to say, you mentioned making your first movie back, did you say 2007 or did you? Yeah, 2007. So I know you've made several films. So just whatever inspire you and you develop it in your screenplay and then you go with it.
Pretty much. So, when I was taught how to write a script, they said, create an outline and then fill in the blanks. I feel like that's too much work because, you created the outline. After you create the outline, now you got to go back and do all the other stuff you could have done the first time. So I just usually just vomit it out and then put it together. So my inspiration, like for Sex Ain't Love, I came up with an idea. I think I was probably listening to Biggie for some reason in 2014. And it was the song where he's at this woman's house and her basketball boyfriend shows up, and then he got to get out of there. So that I think I was inspired by that, and that's how the opening of Sex Ain't Love happened. Step Off the Block, it was a lot of little knucklehead kids outside doing dumb stuff. I wanted to stop them from doing dumb stuff, so it was my way of trying to, I guess, save the youth, and that's where Step Off the Block came from. If I Die Tomorrow, somebody told me that they had cancer, and I was like, no, somebody told me somebody had cancer, and I was like, they had cancer. I said, what? Which one? And they said, what's the lowest level you can have with cancer?
Stage 1, but I think there's actually maybe a stage before stage 1.
Yeah.
So I was like, all you gotta do is, so me being stupid to myself, I was like, all you gotta do is brush that off. And then I thought to myself, if I die tomorrow, what do I do? And that's where the short film If I Die Tomorrow came from. And then looking for music for If I Die Tomorrow, I found some music and I used that for Silent Endeavor. My Enemy's Son was inspired by Scarface's Good Girl Gone Bad. Kidnap was me saying I can do a movie because I saw somebody else do a movie, and I was wrong. I was wrong with that one because my first movie was Kidnapped and it was sucked. But I also use this as my teaching tool because this is all the things that you don't do when making a movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they say sometimes the failures are the biggest lessons more so than successes, right? Especially I'm sure in the creative process. So speaking of that, what is your favorite part of the filmmaking process?
When it's done. When it's done.
You're like,
give me that finished product. So you like this part when you're making the rounds and getting to talk about it versus the actual creation process?
This is the first time I've ever done this. So I'm your first.
Ooh, a press
I'm
run.
the first of the year, but this is my first time doing a press run.
Okay.
So let me tell you, when I'm in the thick of things, when I'm creating, when I'm looking for locations, I'm looking for actors, then we start production. I'm in the thick of it. I don't think of none of that. I'm just zoned out and tuned in and making sure it happens. Once it's over, I was like, because after I watched it probably 600 times, I'm like, okay, all right, we fixed that last scene. Let me watch it again. Okay, it's finally done. Whew, that's my favorite part. Because
do you edit as well?
Yep. It saves a lot of money.
One-man show. Yeah.
Well, no, it saves a lot of money. I would love to have an editor, but I would end up standing over the editor and saying, no, that's wrong. No, that's right. And I just say, instead of tormenting somebody, I'll just save them the pain and suffering from being up under me and do it myself.
Understood. You mentioned previously that the purpose of creating this film, Tubi movie, was giving viewers a chance to laugh with filmmakers instead of at filmmakers based around that.
No, with us, not with filmmakers.
You.
With us.
Okay.
Not laugh at us, because when they post those movies online, they post them to get a laugh at the filmmaker's expense. And you never even know what the movie's about. So you get a laugh at the filmmaker's expense. Not only that, you don't even know the name of the movie. They dub them just Tubi movie. So that's why this movie is called Tubi movie, because, hey, y'all promoting these other movies, but this is the movie that you really want to see.
Got it. So laughing with, not at, correct. And it was really based on the chatter around social media. So what has your relationship been like with social media?
Love, hate. I hate being on it, but I love to use it because it helps me get the word out about my projects. I mean, if you go to any of my pages, I usually I post uplifting quotes that I come up with myself. I quote myself and I post them. Some people will laugh at that, and I think I do it because if anything should happen to me, my daughter want to know what I was doing or what I was thinking, she can always go back and look at those posts, and those posts will help her. It's like little nuggets for her. But I didn't just want to say them for her. I want them for everybody. So if I posted something for you, I mean, today it's for you and everybody else, whoever it hit. If it's not for you, you move on to the next post.
You know what came to mind? This is a old school reference though, but you remember when Dr. Run used to be in his tub or Run's house, and he would always like text his family because he's always having, deep in thought, and that was his deep in thought time. That's what I'm thinking about. Do you remember that show back in the day?
I wasn't really a Run DMC fan, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't like how they rap like this. So I
I was
could
gonna
never
say, is
get.
it a Chicago thing or something?
No, so Rakim was the one who pulled me in. When I heard Let the Rhythm Hit Him, I put that on a tape and played it to the tape pop. And then got another tape and recorded it again and played it to that one broke.
Wow.
And then played it again. And the first time I heard Let the Rhythm Hit Him, it was a cappella version without the rest of the track. And I didn't even want to hear the regular version. I just wanted to hear the a cappella version because I love the way his voice sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Kumo D rap and how their style. I hated it because everybody sounded alike. But then you got Rakim, then you hit KRS-One, two different sounds.
Yeah. I mean, that makes so much sense to me. There are definitely rappers I like just based off of their voices. The same with singers, right? Like everybody has the thing that kind of pulls them in, and it's the cadence with the rapper's voice. It's flow. It's everything. Yes. So, and you mentioned that music has been very inspirational in the work you're doing. So it makes sense that you would have your faves. But additional question on just kind of social media engagement is, do you find it helpful, whether through social media or maybe screenings, to interact directly with your audience?
I do. I mean, people want to ask about the movie. I like talking to them. I like to hear their feedback, but a lot of times I just get people asking, when can I work with you? And they haven't even seen the movie. And I'm like, have you seen the project? They say, no, I haven't seen the project. I'm like, well, you should probably watch some of my work, because what if I'm garbage? Well, that's kind of arrogant of you. I'm not trying to be arrogant, because if I don't think that you're a good actor, I'm not going to work with you. So it works both ways. And I wouldn't want to work with anybody that I don't know anything about. Just because you see me getting chatter on the internet doesn't mean that I'm doing great. That means that they're trying to keep me going and keeping me motivated so I don't quit. It works both ways.
So in an interview, you talked about how this film took you 2 years to release. Can you tell us about that process and the most challenging part of it?
Waiting 2 years to release it. That was the most challenging part. The process. We had some screenings last year, and I think in 2024, at the end of 24, and then sporadically during 25. But releasing it, usually I'll do a movie, have a premiere screening, theatrical run, then throw it on the platform, and forget about it. And how you said, oh, he's doing a press run. I'm like, first time for a press run. I've never done this before. So it's it's bounding me a little bit, because although I love talking to people about the project, I also want to create. And today when I cut my computer on, it said, hey, you need to update these apps. And Adobe Premiere happened to be one of the apps I need to update. And I'm like, I haven't edited anything in almost a year. So yeah, I've written 4 scripts since then. I've written 4 scripts since then. I've rewritten 2 of the old scripts that I've already had. And I'm rewriting another script, and I'm currently creating another script. So I'm still busy writing, but I want to get back behind the camera and grabbing people. And people like, when are we going to shoot Plight? Plight of the indie filmmaker, the movie, that spins off from the web series that we did during COVID. Because Plight of the independent filmmaker, the movie, that came out during COVID. But that's the next project. Plus Fluke, I'm still pitching Fluke to different networks, because we got 3 concept episodes shot, and just trying to get that in the right hands so we can move forward with that too. So I think that was probably your last question. What do you got coming up? So sorry.
It's all good.
No, it's all good. What's your favorite scene in Tubi movie?
All of them. I created all those scenes.
Hey, but
they are my babies. They are my babies. They're my babies.
No favorites.
No, they are my babies. They are my favorites.
I love it. I shout out to the McDonald's big breakfast in the beginning with them eating. I was like, that's a McDonald's breakfast. I know those pancakes.
Now, you want to hear something funny?
I'd love to.
Okay, Delora. So now, I rarely feed everybody I don't feed anybody when you come to set. And the reason why we don't have enough time to eat, because I get there an hour before everybody else. The crew gets there an hour, the next hour, and the cast show up the next hour, and we just start shooting. And then by the time an hour or 2 hours is done, we're done. So it's no time to sit around, chat. It's time to go. Everybody gets their money and they leave. So now that was an early morning shoot. I don't know if you saw the sun coming through the window, but the cast was sitting up there like, can we like really like eat these packs? I said, no, you can't. That's the whole joke. He said, I said, you read the script? I said, I read the script, but I'm hungry. I said, you should have told me, would have brought you more. What you didn't, but man. So then that was Aaron saying that. So then Letitia was like, yeah, I haven't eaten either. I'm like, man, I don't. So, yeah, I know you don't feed us, but I know it's not that. But this is, but it. I said you can warm it up and eat it after we finish. I'm not gonna want to warm it up McDonald's bread. What are we talking about here? We wasted time. We could be done so you can go home. So that's the funny story behind that. They wanted to eat the breakfast for real.
There's the compromise. They can eat it after the scene. At least you're not like, hey, sorry, this is going to some other folks. Well, this is not for you.
Filmmaking is a pain anyway because of the whole continuity aspect of it all, and I know that's part of the jokes for Tubi movie, but yeah, that took me out. I was like, oh, they're eating air out here. Okay.
Yeah. My favorite like part of it was in that initial 2 with the too old son. Like, not just because of the aspect of it for like the Tubi type of films, but also like I used to have to be watching soap operas a lot as a kid with my grandmother. And that was always like a running joke to me that one day the kid would be 3 and then by next week the kid is 15. So it was just like that obvious thing of like aging up children. Yeah. And then the fact that it was called out in a later scene of like, how is this your son? We're the same age. Like it was just, it really tickled me. So that was one of my favorite like concepts of the film.
That cool. And I don't remember her name, but she was rolling up to the house to confront her boyfriend for cheating on her, and like
that was
all
Falana
these
Sanders.
Girls,
and there were like 6 of them.
It was
6 different actresses.
Okay. So y'all let me know y'all watched the movie. Okay, I'm impressed.
Yes, we did.
So speaking of casting, what were you looking for within your actors for this film?
Well, everybody was specific, so I knew everybody was in this movie already. So when we talk about Sex Ain't Love, I didn't have anybody in mind for it. I was just plucking. For this movie, I called everybody individually and worked around their schedule. Now, Sex Ain't Love took me 13 days to shoot. This movie took me about 6 to 8 months to shoot because I'm working around comedian schedule, other people's work schedule, and whoever. So this was different. I wanted everybody that's in this movie is who I wanted in this movie. It wasn't anybody that had to audition. I said, hey, what you doing? You free this day? Yeah. Okay, cool. And that's how it worked out for this movie. Other movies, if you say, hey, Delora, I already got my locations picked. Can you work this day? Nope. Okay, Ashley, can you work this day? Cool. All right. Delora, next time. That's what I would do.
So there are some beautiful B-roll shots of Chicago. What do you love about Chicago?
What you saw.
So all those, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why I put those in there is because usually when people shoot here, do a movie here, you really don't see that. You just you'll see it maybe a wide shot or whatever. Like even if it's the forest, what's that? Power Forest. You don't see those shots, and you don't see those shots of Chicago. You don't see that exists. This is a beautiful city. So my focus and my point was to make sure that people know that beauty lives here. You just got to come here to see it. And since you're not coming here to see it, you will see it through my work. I was born and raised here. And it's the third biggest market in the industry. And I'm a big fish in this small little pond. So I guess that's what I love about here.
So we're talking LA, Atlanta, Chicago.
No, LA, New York, Chicago, Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny because, you got the Tyler Perry studio down there.
Right.
What I was going to say, is it because Chicago is known for, the second city and some of those things as well that makes it more illustrious for the industry? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I'm not born and raised in Chicago, but it is my absolute favorite city in these United States. So
my favorite people come from Chicago. Shout out Shayna. So yeah.
What about me? I'm one of your favorite people.
You're newly minted on my list of favorite Chicagoans.
Okay, cool. All right, I feel better now.
So are there any recurring themes that you gravitate towards in your work so far?
So in Plight of the Indie Filmmaker, the movie, we talk about This Ain't Pulp Fiction. In this movie, Tubi movie, we talk about This Ain't Pulp Fiction. That's the script I plan on producing later on. So usually if I'm producing something new, I'll throw a little hint of that in something that's currently out. So people they'll ask about it. And I say, oh yeah, that's a project that's coming up.
How very Pixar of you. Wow. They do that a lot.
They're really great at that. Those Easter eggs.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask you guys, I'm going to tell you guys, none of the movie was improv. Everything was scripted except for one part. And that's the part with my daughter and I, with the cars. She saw that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I heard you talk about that on another interview as well. So I was already aware.
Yeah. That's the only part that was improvised. Because say, you want to do that? She's like, I don't care. And we did it. And then we just put it together. It's one of my friend's favorite parts of the movie. Actually, I'm like, that's your favorite part of the movie? Like, it's a whole bunch of other, but the movie was funny, but that's my favorite part because little Olivia. I was like, okay.
That makes sense. A little nostalgia with having your daughter as a part of the project. Does she have any aspirations to act or direct or do any of the things?
She wants to be a lawyer.
Okay.
She's a dope musician. She plays by ear. I was trying to learn how to play piano a while ago by myself. So I had a book and I'm playing the keyboard. She joined in and then I took her and put her in a class and then she just blew past me. I remember her first piano recital. She was like, Daddy, where am I put my trophy? Hold on. Let's check out the competition. And then that day she came home with a trophy, first place. I was shocked. I cried.
She wasn't. So there's that.
Love confidence.
There's that.
Love confidence.
Exactly.
What's your favorite movie?
I got a lot of them, but I can tell you one favorite movie that I have on DVD and I don't have a DVD player, and that's Snatch.
Ooh.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. Okay. I love Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes movies.
That too. I don't like young Holmes.
You don't like that one? The one that's on Prime right now?
Yeah, and the reason why it's a lot of exposition in that movie. And I sent probably 45 emails that day while binge watching that. And I was able to listen to it while doing that. And I think that's the problem with, I guess I'll say, television and film, because they're making movies where you can be on your phone and watch, which that's not how you keep people engaged.
You want to draw
we've talked about that. Yeah.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
If you watch Tubi movie, you can't watch it with your phone in your hand because you're going to miss something.
Absolutely.
You're going to miss something. And it's purposefully done like that. And at first, when I saw people in the theater watching it and they were laughing through the jokes, I was getting upset. And then I started talking to people on the podcast and I was like, wait a minute. I write like this because I'm mimicking how people scroll on social media. So I don't give you a chance to finish laughing from the first joke when the second joke jumps right back in. And then but what the good part about that is you got to watch the movie twice. That's the good part. But it has pretty much made me adjust my writing according to the way life is.
Yeah. Attention spans and the rhythm.
Yeah. And instead of doing verticals, which verticals are basically video books. because it's a lot of exposition. They're just telling you what's on screen, which is not fun because I want to see what's going on. I don't want to hear you tell me. I can see, but you want to tell me, oh, we got to get the bomb. Yeah, the bomb's right there. It's 5 seconds left. I see it on screen. It's like, what are we doing? You got to use your visual. You got to use the visual part of the screen to tell your story. If you're not doing that, that means you really don't know what you're doing.
Mm. So you mentioned Snatch. Was there anything else before we went down the Guy Ritchie rabbit hole?
Well, I don't know if you catch the hint of Pulp Fiction in Tubi movie, the opening, the credits, them in a car, and then Tubi movie starts. I'll say the credits, second scene, and then the rest of the movie starts. And that's purposely done because I wanted to feel familiar when you watch it. Because a lot of people say, hey, I felt a lot of Quentin Tarantino in there. And somebody said, what you got against Quentin Tarantino? I said, nothing. I wanted to feel familiar. I didn't steal nothing from Quentin Tarantino. The credits just popped on the screen like his. And then the rest of the movie, the second scene was similar to his, but it was different dialogue. And then the rest of the movie started, and then we go through the rest of the scenes. And, everything's beginning, middle, and end for this movie. It's not a beginning, not a middle, not an end, and whatever. But everything is beginning, middle, and end of this movie. Does that make sense?
It does. I've been thinking about my favorite Guy Ritchie project, which is The Gentleman. That's all I've been thinking about.
Oh yeah, The Gentleman.
It was so good.
So good.
My favorite part of that movie was when the guy jumped off the bridge and then the train ran over him. He said, for F's sakes, man, you got to invest in some parachutes. I'll watch that over and over again because that was like the way they smash cut to them saying that. I was like, wow, that was perfect timing.
Have you seen the series as well?
No, it's a series.
Yeah, you got to check out the series. The series is so good.
We recapped it, so if you want to listen to how we felt about the movie,
that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do.
It's so good. You're really going to enjoy it. Yeah.
But did you enjoy Young Sherlock?
So I haven't finished it. I started it. I haven't finished it.
It's on my list.
It's a slow burn to me when I started watching it.
Okay, cool. I'll listen to you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really gravitated towards, but I'm also maybe just generally a big fan of Robert Downey Jr. So like his portrayal of Sherlock and he's so spastic with his performance that it's kind of hard for me to see this version So, but
just like when they made Holmes and Sherlock and what's that? Holmes and Watson?
Yeah. Yep. There's been so many iterations now. Yeah. Even like Elementary was a version of that as a series. Mm-hmm. There's been so many iterations. So I like Robert Downey Jr. I thought
I love
the Enola Holmes version was pretty good as well because it was what's his name who played Superman? Cavill. Yeah. That was pretty good too. Anywho, is there a subject or genre that you haven't tackled yet in your journey that you are excited to dive into in the future?
Well, people want me to do horror, but I really don't.
It's not my genre either.
Not your Jordan Peele bag.
No, I don't think so. Here's what I feel about that. When everybody talked about Get Out and they said, oh, that was a scary movie. I said, it's not a scary movie. When I watched it in the theater, I'm in the theater by myself laughing. Everybody else is looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, this is a comedy. And when he got nominated as a best comedy film or whatever in one of the award shows, and everybody was, no, it's not. They disrespecting him. I'm like, that was a comedy. That was a comedy because you change the music, you change the score, different movie. I think the score was added there. It was his version of scary movie, but not making a scary movie, if that makes sense.
Definitely could be seen as dark comedy. That's for sure.
Definitely dark comedy for sure.
Yeah.
But scary, not at all. Not at all.
I always find him to be more like thriller based than true horror, but maybe it's just because to me horror is ghosts and demons and what goes bump in the night, and I absolutely hate those films. So Delora knows we talk about this at length on the pod usually.
The best film that I saw was, I think, Constantine.
Now, see, I don't even think
love
of Constantine as horror
I
because
don't either,
there's
but I
like the
love it.
spiritual elements and all these things that,
But you
yeah, I
just
watch
said that.
Constantine. Yeah,
It's
but
drama.
I guess Ghost. So you're right. I did talk
She's
about the
thinking
demons.
The Exorcist.
Exactly. Like I'm talking about
The
like
exorcism of Emily
Sense.
Rose.
Yeah,
Well, the Exorcist, when I saw that when I was younger, I didn't sleep for like, I don't know, a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
Ashley, I was
That's what
like,
I'm talking
never
about.
again, never again. Sinister's on that list for me. And then Sinister scared me.
Really?
And then there was another one that was
Sinisters?
like, no. It was Insidious. Insidious was creepy to me.
Oh yeah, a comedian talked about that.
And then Insidious, Exorcism, and Exorcism of Emily Rose are the three I would not be watching. I don't need to watch any of that.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I don't need that in my psyche. But Sinners? Have you seen
No, not Sinners.
It's Sinister.
I thought you said. Oh, I thought you said Sinners. I'm like,
oh no, not Sinners. No. The first time I said it though, I said Sinister, but that's not the scariest one. The Insidious was the one that I'm like, oh, that's creepy. But Sinners was quite entertaining, and we loved it and was rooting for this whole award season.
We love the vamps and all the things.
So that means you love Dusk Till Dawn.
I've seen Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because Sinners is Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, yeah.
No,
Sinners.
yes, 100%. So now, when I'm in the theater watching it, I'm soaking up the green screen stuff, and then I was like, wait a minute, this Dusk Till Dawn, like real raggedy out in the open. Nobody look. Everybody like, what is he talking about? Dusk Till Dawn. So then later on, I'm doing my Google search, and Ryan, I said Gosling, Coogler, right? Yeah. He said, yes, this Dusk Till Dawn was heavily inspired by Dusk Till Dawn. And I just felt like we need new stuff. That's all. We need new stuff. I'm so sick of remakes. I'm really sick of remakes.
Well, I didn't think it was a remake. They put it in the middle of Mississippi, Black experience.
You know what a remake is, right?
But he didn't say it was a remake.
It's remade with Black people.
He won Best Original Screenplay, so it's considered original screenplay.
But he already said is okay. So two brothers on a run, right? On a run because they stole some money, right? Right?
Yes.
Two brothers in Dusk Till Dawn on a run because they robbed a bank and stole some money. Huh?
And this all happens in one night.
Look at you catching up. All right. Keep it going. Go ahead.
This is what I love about film, is that everything is up for discussion and conversation. So I think Sinners was still exceptional as a film.
I'm just tired of remakes. That's all.
Yeah.
And I'm burnt out on it. Like, we don't need I can't think of what else they just remade, but we don't need another one. Can we have something original? There are original stories out there. So one independent filmmaker said, well, it's only really like 3 or 4 different stories. I said, no, it's a whole bunch of different stories. Tubi movie is a whole different story by itself, And what draws me into Guy Ritchie and Quentin Tarantino is you have these characters that are on screen that have different stories. So the story behind Pulp Fiction is Lawrence Fishburne turned down a role because he said it wasn't a starring role. But it was a starring role in his story in the movie. Because with Jules' character, he had a starring role. John Travolta had a starring role in his part. Uma Thurman was the co-star of that role. Bruce Willis was a star of his story in that movie. So when you look at Tubi movie, you have Damon Williams, his character, Jason, has his own story. Erica, which is Philana Sanders, she has her own story. Adele Givens, which her story is kind of short, she has her own story. And then the parents, the 2 young parents, they make sure that that we haven't been really discussed that much in the story, so you don't know how important we are yet. So it's all these stories that are going on, and that's what I like about those two directors in general, because although you have all these stories that's going on, they actually match up.
So do you typically enjoy like anthology series in that case?
Series?
Think about Lovecraft Country.
I did love Lovecraft Country.
That was done so well.
I did love Lovecraft Country. And I'm going to tell you like this, any series that calls back to what's going on. And if I think about a series as simple as Seinfeld. So you got Jerry's story, you got George Costanza's story, you got Elaine Bennett's story, and then Kramer bounced back in there every once in a while. You have those three stories just floating around, but they all come to an end and they crash together and they make sense. And the reason why I like it, the reason why I like it the best is because if you don't like Damon's character, you like Adele and Falana. If you don't like Adele and Falana, you like Damon and you like B. Cole. So you have a pick. There's no way you can say I don't like this movie totally because I like some people that's in the movie, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like it that way because it makes the movie more marketable because now everybody can come to the movie. I have an attitude, you have an attitude, but now we both have a character in the movie that we can just fight about against each other with and then continue the conversation.
Yeah.
And have bigger debates.
So you've talked about Guy Ritchie, you talked about Quentin Tarantino. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of directors or filmmakers?
F. Gary Gray is one. I only have three right now, which is the first two and F. Gary Gray. And the reason why I say F. Gary Gray is it's a lot of movies that he directed. I didn't had no clue that he directed. I didn't know he directed Get Shorty. Was it? No, it was not. Was it Get Shorty? No, it wasn't Get Shorty.
So he's done Set It Off.
Yeah, I know about all the black movies.
The Italian Job.
I learned about that 5 years ago, and then I learned about the one he did with Jamie Foxx, and I can't think of the name of that movie.
Was it Collateral?
Yes.
The Negotiator.
I didn't know he did The Negotiator.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's no going theme with him. Like I can't think of the name of the director who did the first Ocean's 11, but he did the movie with Jennifer Lopez and George Clooney.
Out of Sight.
Yes, and the reason why I found that out is because I heard the same music, and then I watched how it was cut. Then I looked up the director, and it was him. And I was like, "Come on, man, come on." Now I love Ocean's 11. I love a heist movie, but come on. Everything has to be, for me, it has to be different. It can't be the same thing every movie. Oh yeah, I mean, we go with Spike Lee, and he put you on a platform, and then the camera is trucking forward.
Right.
I mean, dollying forward.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about all his movies.
All of them.
Put the actor on the dolly, and he dollies forward, and you see the person shaking back and forth. I'm like, it becomes like that's your signature, but your signature is sloppy.
Bad Bunny just did it for the halftime show this year. Super Bowl.
I didn't see that.
It was great. I love the call. I
haven't seen the halftime show. I haven't seen the halftime show since Janet.
Oh wow.
That's
okay. Yeah. Did you say I'm done after the way they treated Janet? Is that what happened?
No, I was. So my ex she liked Janet. So I was sitting up there watching it just like this. And all right, that was her. Like, and she wasn't paying attention. She's like, "What you talking about?" But her thing, and she was like, "No, you lying." And then all of a sudden it exploded online. I was like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never really watched it in the first place because, I'm not into sports, so.
Got it. You already talked about this a bit in terms of your next projects that you have upcoming, but tell us a little bit more details about the themes of these next 2 or 3 that you're hoping to get out and what fans and audiences can look forward to.
Well, Fluke is a series called I mean, Fluke is the series. It's it's basically Atlanta and Curb Your Enthusiasm on steroids, and it's
What a
about an out of work.
mashup.
Yeah, it's an out of work actor, and he fails upward. I'm not fond of those shows where the character fails and over again, starts back at zero. He fails and starts at 5. He fails again, starts at 12. Fails again, starts at 26. He keeps moving forward just by dumb luck, because that's what fluke really means, dumb luck. So we have 3 concept episodes shot with that, and if or when the network comes in, we can shoot the other 3 episodes, and then they can test it out, because now they have half a show shot, and they can just throw it on the market and see what it does. And then Plight is pretty much the continuation, but the cap on Plight of the independent filmmaker, which shows that Jeff and Will got their big shot to talk to a movie producer, but the producer wants to know how they got this meeting, because his cousin, which is a gangster, not in terms of gang banging, but like a real crime boss, he stays out of the film industry, and the film industry stays out of the streets. And the crime boss made sure that they got this meeting. He wants to know what was the story behind it, and they tell him the story behind them getting this meeting with him, and how everything came to fruition. And that's that movie. But that movie talks about This Ain't Pulp Fiction. That's the script that's the script that they're pitching to the producer. And then This Ain't Pulp Fiction, that's a dark comedy, super dark. Even though Plight is a dark comedy, that's what one of the actors told me. He said, I read my part, and this movie is kind of dark. I said it's a dark comedy. No, it's just dark. He got mad because his character got killed off. It's like, you killing my character. I said, the series is done. The movie is over. So the script that they talking to the producers about is Pulp Fiction. This Ain't Pulp Fiction. So This Ain't Pulp Fiction came about because of one scene that I felt like it would have been done differently if I did it. And I didn't put the same scene together, but it was a similar scene. And when the characters interact, he said, "This ain't Pulp Fiction, motherfucker," and blow his head off. And the rest of the movie is movie. But that one little scene mimics Pulp Fiction. But I also did a callback to the title right there, because I wanted the title to be said in the movie. I like when the title is said in the movie. Even though it's not, I did say it in the movie. I was like, it is said in the Tubi movie. Okay.
Yeah, Tubi movie is in there. I like that in books too, when you finally see like, oh, this is where they got the title from.
I did that with a script that I can't really talk about. I forgot about that script because it's with the lawyer. It's a IP that's owned by a bigger entity that, you know, if they rain on top of me and y'all call me back to the show, we'll talk about that script. But I also called back the title. And when I was writing that script and I wrote it out, I was like, oh, I was very excited because the title came out into the script, into the creation of that particular scene. And I was excited because I had named the script way before I got to that part. And then I'm saying probably like scene 10 or 11, it's right there. I was like, oh. And people were like, oh, that's the best part of the script right there. I was like, I don't like that part, but I think it's good, but I don't like that what you just said, because the rest of the script is still good. Oh no, the script was good. I said, yeah, all right.
Can't have any favorite children, as you said, amongst your scenes.
Exactly.
Love them all.
Yes.
So how would you describe filmmaking in Chicago? What's that scene like? You talked about it a little bit, being the third largest market in the US, but I'd love to know more.
Well, as an independent, I'm a guerrilla. Because when you're outside, no permits. I mean, sometimes we get permits, but when I don't get permits, hey, your job is to stand on that corner. If you see the police, you call. That's it. But a lot of times when the police show up, we'll break the equipment down, but a lot of times the police show up and they're like, what y'all doing, shoot a movie? What y'all shooting? Let me know when it's come out. Or can I call my son so he can come? Can I call my daughter? Yeah, call him. Yeah, sure. And then we get the call, oh, they can't show up. But yeah, y'all gonna do it. I'll stand around here, make sure nobody bother y'all. Cool. They already on the clock anyway, so they don't have to fight no real crime. They can just stay there and make sure we don't get robbed. So making films here is pretty cool because there's a lot of hungry people here. They like to work, and if you're good at what you do, they would definitely give you all their time, even though I'm not going to take it.
That's awesome. So not lacking for any extras or folks who want to be in a picture in the Chicago area, sounds like.
No. I really don't use extras because I feel like, unless it's a scene where we're in a restaurant, but just to have it as a filler it really doesn't make sense.
I do have another quick question. You as a filmmaker and
don't make it quick, make it long.
This ongoing conversation in Hollywood around AI. What are your thoughts on AI in filmmaking?
I don't like it. I don't think it's a good tool. I think it's cheating. I don't even think it's cheating because I can tell it's AI. I mean, to people who are not filmmakers or that are not into that, people who do this, you can do AI all day long. All day long, you can do AI all day long if you're producing AI films. But for me, no. I think it was Homelander and Superman fighting. Before that, I saw Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting. Same fight moves, same thing, and the sound effects were there, and everybody's excited to see this, but they're not grasping what's happening and what you're being, I guess, I don't want trained to see. You're being trained to see something new. And if you accept it, it's going to become the new norm. I don't want it to become the new norm. I mean, if you're going to watch AI videos, you might as well watch cartoons.
That's fair.
You might as well watch cartoons. And you can, the AI has gotten completely out of control and trying to recreate human emotion. And I don't know. I'm not fond of it at all.
Yeah. AI actresses, everything coming on the scene is getting crazy.
Yeah, but then they also said they tried to put in the contract, say for instance, you auditioned for a part. You didn't get it. They can still take your image from your audition and drop it as a background somewhere. Crazy. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. And why would you want to do that and not pay somebody? I mean, you're already making, actually not making a man, because right now they're making movies to stream, which is stupid because you make more money in the theater. But then they feel like, oh, well, we got to compete against the phone. Make something that make people put their phones down. That's how I feel. So, rabbit hole, sorry.
No. It's perfect. Sorry. It's all good. We have one final question for you, and that is, what advice do you have for other aspiring filmmakers and creatives?
Well, if you want to use my formula, which I haven't used it in a while, which is write a script, grab your locations, grab your actors. And the reason why I say do that is because you write the script first, you got your idea, your locations, you got the times and the dates locked. The actors usually, when they read the script, they say, when are you going to shoot this? And that way you could give them a date. And when once they give it, they can lock that into their calendar. Because if you say, I don't know yet, you come to them like 3 months down the line, oh, I'm on another project. That, make sure you know how to write a screenplay. Typos are going to be there. And this is an unfortunate thing. But make sure you know how to write a story that's engaging, that's going to keep everybody captive and off their phones. And if you're a director, make sure your actors know it's one vision, one voice. And make sure that everything that you take is a take, opposed to just saying, that's okay, let's move on. It needs to be exactly what you want. Do not let them leave the room until they give you what you want. That's my advice.
Very practical. Love that. Appreciate that. Any final thoughts that you want to share with us and with the audience?
Yes, my website is lokekey.com. You can find Tubi Movie on there with the push of a button. You You scroll down, you can find the other works that we talked about. And you scroll down further, you can find all the social media things on at the bottom, which is Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter. I think I might even have TikTok. I don't know. I only got TikTok because I had a daughter. I still have a daughter, but I got TikTok because of her.
Yeah. So the importance of it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Will, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you for giving us your time. Guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, please share this episode out with everybody you know. Share the To Be movie out with everybody you know. As Will mentioned, information is out there. We'll include it in the show notes as well. We appreciate you guys for listening. We'll be back. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.